Welcome to the Arsenal show. We are live, and it's the post-match reaction of Arsenal's 2-1 loss in the Champions League away to Lens. A tougher opposition than many may have thought. People dismissed this game before. They called it a Europa League group, and look how it's come to bite them back in the arse now. I'm joined by Steve K. What was your thoughts on the game, Steve?
Yeah, not good at all, was it, mate? Not good at all. Yeah, I mean, I knew this was going to be an hard group. You know, a lot of Arsenal fans were just, sort of, well, yeah, we're going to win, but yeah, I mean, we've put ourselves in a position now where we've got to beat Seville in Seville, and now the pressure's on the group because it's no good finishing second. We don't want to finish second, and yeah, now we can't rest any players. We've got to go right to the end now. We've lost this, make no mistake, because Seville ain't going to be losing any game. But on the game itself, I mean, it just wasn't. Again, we've on a few games this season, sloppiness, no creativity in the midfield, no punch up front. It was awful. It was poor to watch, mate. It was poor to watch.
Yeah, no, it was. Even before Arsenal got their goal, it looked like a tight game. It didn't look like anything that was going to be easy tonight. But it did look like when we got our chance, it would open up quite a bit. Like as per usual, Arsenal didn't really capitalise on that. It didn't really push forward and try too much, and it gave Lens a bit more confidence in the game. After a lovely bit of play and a lovely bit of assist and finish from Lens, Arsenal sat in a little bit too much, which then allowed Lens to press us and sit in positions which were more like a team playing at home, more like as if Arsenal were playing at home. And you could just feel from there that it was only going to be it's only going to take another chance from and some clinical finish from Lens for them to get that next goal. And it wasn't too long until I did that to put it 2-1. And after that, we have to give credit to Lens, some excellent defending.
Yeah.
Who was their centre back?
Denson, was it?
Danso. Wow. I think there's going to be a few Premier League clubs watching him for the rest of the season to see how he does, because he was an absolute menace, good pace, strength. Anytime that Jesus tried to outpace him, he just used his strength to push him away and slow him down. And yeah, he was excellent tonight. But so was the rest of Lens. They're very well marshalled, and in the end, I have to say they deserve their win probably. So can't knock it. What's Johnny saying? Johnny says poor defending. The whole defence, Zinchenko offers nothing defensively. Havertz can't put a foot right. Just peed off the whole display. Sorry. What's this? Some podcast has been saying 3-1, 4-1 to Arsenal dreamers. That display angered me, to be honest. It looked like we approached it like a testimonial. We underestimated them. I'm not sure whether we underestimated them. I think once Saka went off, we lost that bit of pace on the right-hand side. But that says a lot for the decisions we may have made in the transfer window about bringing in a replacement for Bukayo Saka, something we spoke about many a times.
Yeah. If he doesn't trust them, kids, if he doesn't, I thought when I was watching the game, and Saka went off, and the thoughts start coming back again. Why he rested 87 games without rest, bloody, 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 bloody. It's been like a stuck record. We keep saying this, don't we? If he doesn't trust Vieira, if he doesn't trust Havertz on the right, if he doesn't trust Trossard on the right, why the fucking hell haven't we bought someone?
Yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense.
It don't make sense. Look, sorry
for the swearing.
Playing Fabio Vieira on the right can work if you've got someone with pace on the left. And Trossard isn't the kind of player with pace. He's very much a cultured winger. And it's the same position. If you're bringing in Fabio Vieira to play on the right, you're playing him as a cultured winger. He's not someone who's going to put the burners on. And when you've got Gabriel Jesus up top, the front three is not bursting with pace. Gabriel Jesus is relatively fast, but the other two aren't even fast players. But that's not their game. It worries me that when you lose Martinelli and Saka, you've then got no options for pacey wingers up top. Surely you should be looking at that like for Saka, So you're not losing any of that. And we didn't do that. And it's got to the Champions League, and now realising we saw in the last game where Saka went down, there was worry. He came back in today, didn't last too long, and it's going to bite us. It's going to bite us in the arse, unfortunately. Saka is already on thin ice when it comes to an injury. Doesn't look comfortable. It looks like we're playing him in games where we need to play him. I saw people saying, "Why do we play Saka tonight?" We're away in the Champions League to Lens. We're away in the Champions League. Away in the Champions League, there is no resting them players. You rest them players. You rest them players if you're already through top of the group and there's no way you can get caught up.
It's other games.
And the chances are you're probably going to lose because that's how it goes down in that final game, or it's going to be a draw or a tight game. You don't rest players in the second game of the Champions League. Like,
this is a cup. This is a cup. This is a cup final for Lens tonight. It's a cup final. You know, this is their biggest game of the season. Make no. They won't have anybody. All right, they'll have PSG maybe. You know, who will go to their ground this year, but they won't have anyone else any bigger. This is the biggest thing that might happen to them in the next 5-10 years. Having Arsenal there, their crowd's going to be up for it. The players are going to be up for it, and I don't think we underestimated them, but we just weren't at it. We just weren't at the races. But at the end of the day, like you said, we got to give Lens credit because they didn't display. They forced us into mistakes, and these mistakes, and a lot of teams are doing this season. Look, I'm not getting panicking. You know, we're doing well in the league, and it's just the second game. But we've got to put a stop to this. You know, we've got to put a stop to this sloppiness. Unforced errors all the time, too many, and it is the same players, and it is those same players who are doing the errors. And sometimes we just a little bit too safe. We get forward, we get the ball, we do some nice little passing. In the midfield, right, for once or twice that that we didn't do a lot during the game, but then it'll get up to the offensive players, and then one of them will pass it back, and you're like, oh, why are you passing it back? There was the confidence didn't seem to be there up front. No. I don't know what it wasn't there. Was it because Saka went off? Whether Arteta knows this, whether he thinks, "Hey, look, I've got to play Saka every time because we need him. We haven't got no one." Fair enough. Right, big game. We've got to play Saka. He's our best player. You know, I understand that. You know, all players do it. You don't rest Salah, do you? You don't rest Haaland. You don't. We could go on. You don't rest Deeper. You don't rest Saka. But I don't know. You have to have players on the pitch. You can take the weight off of him, even if he's not dropped. Everything seems to go through him at times. Get Martinelli back quick for me. He needs to get back fit. You know, we need him really badly.
At least if Martinelli comes back, you can rest Saka and you've got that. You've still got that pace in the game.
Yeah.
You can see that on the because we use the counter. We break with pace. And if we can't do that, it's worrying because that low block, we struggle against that low block. And when they sit in and they don't, and if they've got good defensive structure, we really, really, really do struggle. It's a big problem we have. Man City have been able to deal with it because they've played against it since Pep Guardiola's been there. They've tried the low block and probably did struggle with it for the first season, but now they've got used to it. Liverpool have got used to it now. Arsenal needs to start getting used to it. It was something that Arsenal never used to have to deal with. Then Arsenal came in and there was a problem. And then we got used to it. We got used to playing a team that just want to sit in. We could play that to our advantage. It's just got to change our game.
The movement tonight just wasn't good enough up front.
It wasn't good enough. There
was no movement. There was no movement.
Good enough. It wasn't good enough. Trossard, Vieira, and Emil Smith-Rowe will all try to do the same thing because they're similar types of players. They're wingers, cultured wingers, midfielders, attacking midfielders. They're the similar types of players. I reckon Emil Smith-Rowe must have shagged Arteta's wife. Johnny's going on a mad one. Why would you not bring on a dynamic Emil Smith-Rowe instead of Vieira? For me, Emil Smith-Rowe is different cast to Vieira, but they're different positions, Johnny. Emil Smith-Rowe doesn't play on the right wing. And if you're bringing Emil Smith-Rowe on the right wing, then he's going to get lost. He's an attacking midfielder and he's a left winger. He likes to cut in on his right. He's not a player. If you're bringing on Emil Smith-Rowe on the right wing, you're expecting Emil Smith-Rowe to what? Run past defender. We've just seen he doesn't do that. That's not his game. He doesn't run past players like that.
when he came on for Odegaard, didn't he? He went into the 10.
He went in a 10, yeah.
Because he was doing the job what Odegaard was doing, like for the whole match, which was basically be everywhere. Do you know what I mean? Working his socks off.
Yeah.
But Odegaard was doing what Emil Smith was doing when he was on the pitch anyway. There wasn't really a lot of difference. I suppose, if anything, Emil Smith Rowe did give that little bit more punch offensively than Odegaard. But
yeah. Let's get onto the player ratings now. First of all, David Raya in goal.
Yeah, well, first, we got to call out the mistake, haven't we? He did a mistake. Other than that, wasn't at fault for the other goal. Other than that, didn't have a lot to do. But yeah, I'm not going to. Yeah, I mean, look, it was a mistake, but I don't want to get into this Raya Ramsdale sort of chat that seems to be. Everybody seems to be getting into at the moment. Raya makes one mistake once, but then Ramsdale, he's got to be in and he's got to be in. Don't want to get there. He made a mistake. He goes again. For me, he's in goal against City, Raya, because I think it's silly having this back and forth thing all the time, even if it's just for that reason. But if Ramsdale was your number one, then just play him as your number one or Raya as your number one. Then, yeah, look, go give him didn't have a lot to do. 6.
Yeah, 6 for David Raya. It's one of them ones where it's never gonna go away, because there will be people that say, "Did you need to bring in a goalkeeper?" There will be people that say, "You spent your goalkeeper you spent your money on a goalkeeper and you could have bought a right winger." So it's always going to be something. If Mikel Arteta is going to make these points and he wants these smooth nuances to make a difference, and this is what he says he wants to his team, then he's going to get people that are going to criticise if they don't think it's right. Quickly, I saw a comment down there. I agree. I agree. You don't rest your best players in big games. However, wingers require being dynamic, need freshness. Saka is lacking the burst of pace all season in a lot of games. Yeah, no, I agree. I think the problem you have with that is you've got no pace. There's no pace on the wing if Saka doesn't play today. And if they deem he's fit enough, and the problem with today was I don't know, I didn't see was it a knock that happened, or was it the knock? They're saying it's the knock from the weekend that might be.
Yeah, I don't even remember. I
don't remember what happened with Saka. No. I just saw him go down.
It was holding his hamstring, weren't he? That's what he was holding.
Yeah, that's a worry, because it was his Achilles.
I've heard it ain't good before we come on, which makes it even worse. It's just.
Yeah, you could see him on the bench saying something as well, and they quickly moved away from it. So I don't know. Not good. William Saliba.
Yeah, I thought he done all right tonight. I don't remember him doing anything wrong. He was cultured on the ball at times. From what I don't remember too many of their forwards getting the better of him. Don't remember any mistakes. Pretty solid for me. William Saliba tonight again. 7.
7 for Saliba. Gabriel Magalhaes.
Yeah, probably not. He did. I mean, right up until I think in the second half, he started to. I don't know if he started to tire a bit. There was a couple of loose balls. Up at the first half, I thought he was absolutely excellent. Definitely on par with Saliba. Yeah, but if I've given Saliba a 7. Yeah, I've got to give Gabriel a 7 as well. Although I can remember him, but because of the other marks, I'm going to give some of the other players. Gabriel was certainly a little bit better than them, so I'll give him a 7.
Tomiyasu.
Yeah, look again. I thought Tomiyasu had a really good game. I thought he was excellent. I thought he had an excellent first half. I thought he was the best out of all of our defenders. And when I see Ben White on the touchline, I was like, don't you dare bring him off! Don't you dare bring him off! There's no way you can bring him off, because I was ready to roast Arteta tonight if he did, but he never. And you obviously see certainly what I saw, and I thought he did well. I thought he was our best defender. So difficult to give him an 8 on a loss, but I'm gonna give him an 8.
What do you think the reason behind Tomiyasu starting over Ben White was?
I think Ben White has been quite poor recently, Kears. Well, let me rephrase that. Not poor, but he hasn't been the same Ben White that I've been used to seeing the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Last week he was against Bournemouth. He scored the goal. We got the free kick for the goal. Fantastic. Thought he was really bad. I didn't think he played a good game up until then. I thought defensively he didn't play well, and he didn't have a great game as well. I think we've said on the show before that White's hasn't been the same Ben White that we've been used to seeing in like especially last season. So I'm thought that he might have bring him in because of that. Mm-hmm. But Tomiyasu was getting forward a little bit more. And something I did notice, especially in the first half, is that Tomiyasu was coming into midfield a lot, and he was popping up in there. So that could be another reason for it. Mm-hmm. But I thought he played well tonight. I thought he did well, Tomiyasu. And yeah, look, there's an argument that he could keep his space for the City game for me.
It'd be interesting to see if he does. Yeah,
would you keep him?
I don't know. I'd have to think about it. But I do think he was our best defender tonight. Zinchenko. Yeah,
I called him the Revels, didn't I? Like a bag of Revels, and he was that tonight as well. Sometimes on the ball he was fantastic. You know, coming into midfield, I thought he was good. But then at tight, he's defensive. I agreed with someone in the comments who mentioned he's sometimes defensively, he's really not up to standards of what you would call, you know, a top left back as far as defensively goes. As far as a footballer, as far as, you know, everything else as being a footballer, as far as being a leader, as far as like, you know, getting the team up the pitch. Yeah. Yes, great. But then he spoils his whole performance by having shockers as defensively, by getting caught out of position, by giving the ball away. And he's done it a lot. He does it a lot. He did it last season. He's done it quite a few times this season. And I'm very split on what, you know, maybe that's why he brought Timber in. Maybe we know Arteta's ruthless. Maybe Timber will be the left back. I don't know. For that reason, we'll have to wait and see. And you know, we ain't going to know that until, you know, Timber's back fit. But I just feel he's he wasn't great tonight. So, but good on the ball, 6. But yeah, if it was just for his defensive abilities, he'd be on a 5 or 4 because yeah, he's just not it defensively. Is it harsh? Is that harsh?
No, I don't think it's harsh. It's a tough one because this is a player who, the whole season last season, I think he got about 4 Player of the Month awards. So he was integral to the way we play. We played an inverted fullback, and when we don't play it, we go missing. So I think Tim was definitely brought in for an option. But it'd be interesting to see when he does come back who plays. Declan Rice.
Best Arsenal player on the pitch by a absolute country mile for me. Did not deserve to be on the losing side tonight. He'll be sitting in the dressing room tonight thinking, you know, look, I've had a fantastic game. I think he ran the midfield, tried to run the midfield on his own. I think we needed him to at times because really there was no one else doing it. Excellent on the ball. He's power. He's, you know, the way he goes through that midfield. He's passing. You know, I feel like I remember one pass that went astray. Other than that, he's just passing is absolutely excellent, and he's different. He's different gear. I mean, we all thought last season it's like we were saying, Casemiro and Pai were the best midfield players in the Premier League. This guy's, for me, is better than them by a massive, by a long way from what I've seen the first 8 games of the season, and he was majestic tonight. For me, Arsenal's man of the match. I'll give him an 8.
8 for Declan Rice. He was trying to keep things going, weren't he?
He
was definitely trying to keep things going. We got Martin Odegaard.
Martin Odegaard works hard. He got about. Was all over the pitch. Doing his good captain performance, if you like. Not enough offensively. Pretty. Pretty much did nothing offensively from what I can remember. Was that to do with the movement that we mentioned at the start of the show, that there was no movement from the front players? It very much well could have been. But I would have liked to have seen Odegaard do more tonight. He didn't have a bad game. He works terribly hard, and he just wasn't. We needed a little bit more from him, as I say, in that creative sort of area. What he does didn't help Saka going off. But Odegaard, I'll give a 7.
I would put it down to the fact he had lack of movement up front. Gabriel Jesus was, I don't want to say he was in the pocket of Danso, but he was not far off. He was holding his pocket. And when Fabio Vieira come on, his first instinct is never to go down that wing. There was a ball later on where it was a clear 1-2 situation. Pass the ball, Vieira passed it to Ben White. Ben White passed it down the wing, and Vieira's movement was inside. It was like, what? Why have you got inside? That is clearly a ball to move on the flank to go for the 1-2, and that is what was happening when Saka came off. Trossard immediately likes to drop in. Yes, he has that option for the overlap, but he's not sitting on the shoulder of the last defender as a forward. Martinelli does that a lot more. So I would say that definitely played its part in it. Leandro Trossard.
I didn't think he played well tonight. I thought he was. I didn't. I thought. Poor's a good word. It weren't great. It weren't great from him. He was more or less sort of just not even involved in the game and really in the first half. Second half, he picked up a little bit at the beginning. Got round the back of the defence, I think maybe once or twice with poor shots. Let's face it. I mean, on his day, Trossard's a fantastic finisher, but a couple of pad of puff shots that never worked the goalkeeper. But just non-existent really. Poor performance. 5.
5 from Trossard. There was so many points where there was just nothing from Trossard at points. Couple of nice touches during the game, but then it just faded out very, very quickly. It was disappointing. It was very disappointing. Bukayo Saka still came off early, but still gets his assist. Got his assist,
yeah. What can we do? Just give him a 7, for the assist.
Let's hope he's back to the City game. It looks like he's probably not going to be there.
It doesn't look like it. Yeah, who we blame for that? I don't know.
By Havertz.
Yeah, look, a couple of nice. He was just there at one point. I think the first 10, 15 minutes he hardly touched the ball. I want this guy so much to do well. He's one of the guys that, I really want to have good games. Probably more than any other one, just to prove people wrong. Tonight, he didn't do nothing wrong. He was just on the periphery of games. He stays in that number 8 position, and he never really got going. He had a decent shot in the first half, but just, second half, what else can you remember? Yeah, he don't really do nothing wrong. It's just nothing really of any, where you can go, oh wow,
Yeah, no,
whoa.
my
There's
problem at the
nothing.
moment
There's none of
is he's
that,
not
mate. Do you
taking
know what I mean?
risks. He's
Yeah,
not taking risks. In
what,
the last 2 games, I saw him look a lot more confident. I see him passing round corners.
yeah,
He's looking a lot sharper. But today, I just wanted him to get in the box more. Just, you've got all that height. I see him teeing up to go and put a cross in, and he sits outside the area. And I was just
yeah,
like, come on, man. Like, a cross is coming in, and you're
yeah,
sitting on the edge of the area. You've got to start pushing into the box. Because I know that Arteta wants him to arrive late in the box, so that's probably more. It's the second phase, so it's the second ball goes in and it comes out. Havertz is there, but no. He's 6'4". When that
yeah,
ball goes in the box, and Gabriel Jesus is the only one jumping for it, that's a problem for me. Like, I was excited about in pre-seasons when a lot of the balls were going to back post and Havertz was there. He got a couple of goals from it as well. I want to see more of that in games. I don't want to see a player that just is not going to push over the edge. He's not going to take a risk. He's just going to try and play it safe.
He did that once tonight. He did that once tonight, where he got to the back post and had a shot, made the keeper make a save.
Yeah.
But I just want to see what at this 7-8 games into the season. At this moment in time, and I do state this moment in time, because I expect Havertz to get better, and we miss Granit Xhaka so much, it's unreal. At this moment, what he offered in that midfield, there'd be a lot of Arsenal fans going, and I don't mean that he's different. He's a different player from Granit Xhaka. Probably if Arsenal was playing the way with Granit Xhaka the way in Havertz's position there, probably Xhaka would be like Havertz is. But the way we was playing last season with Xhaka, because everything you mentioned there about getting into the box, forcing the game, coming out with something a bit special, a bit wow, shot on the edge of the area, there's bulleting in the top of the net. Do you know what I mean? All this stuff, that power, that force. Do you know what I feel that we've lost? We've lost that, that shithousery that we had last season that Xhaka give us. Don't F with me like on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? I feel that we've lost that. We won't when Partey comes back. We're not going to get that from Partey. He's not that super player. I do feel we missed that player who can sort of that fighting attitude in the middle, who can get goals, who can get in the box. But look, there's no use talking about Granit Xhaka. He's gone. Havertz has got to do that, but we've got to change our way of playing because of it. But and then just hope, and I think he will eventually come round. But I just feel at this moment in time, yeah, we probably do miss him. But
is Declan Rice not that option? Is Declan Rice not that player who can grab it? Will not be arriving late in the box and giving that bit of shithousery? Should it not be coming from Declan Rice?
Well, he could be. I mean, Declan Rice comes more from deep, doesn't he? He sort of comes more deep, and I'm sort of about. Yeah, I know what you're saying. He could do that, but I just feel like that we need him. We need something more in like as you say, in the box, in the final, in the number 8 position. Someone who's got a little bit of, a bit of this, who can who gets stuck in as well as Declan Rice. Declan Rice comes from deep. He comes from the defensive positions, picks the ball up off the centre backs, and then comes from there. That wasn't Xhaka's job last season. He was more offensive. I wouldn't say Declan Rice is more offensive. We need that shithousery more up the field but I don't know. I'm probably picking at straws at the minute because of it's just such a disappointing result tonight. But it's still early days and. Yeah, and Havertz is a different player, so. But I just think we missed that. We missed that grit that we had. I think we do miss that.
Disappointing. We all thought that we'd go unbeaten in the Champions League this season, but it is what it is. I don't know.
Not everybody.
I don't know if we'll go unbeaten this season.
Not on this show. We never thought that.
Russ says Havertz again uninfluential. If Vieira anything more than a neat and tidy player, doesn't really affect the game. We'll never grab a game that's going against us. What he did this season, he completely changed the game against Fulham. And if it weren't for some poor defending, we would have won that game. And we'd be top of the league right now. I just don't see him working. What is his superpower? I said, I can't agree less. Because he completely changed the game for us against Fulham, massively. He was a game changer in that game.
Just don't think he's a right winger. That's all. He can't play out there.
He's not a right winger. You expect him to beat players for pace. He's not that type of player. His first instinct is not to get down that flank when someone's looking for the 1-2. It's to drop inside because that's where he plays as a number 10 or the 8. And even as the 8, I mean, I still feel like you need a Declan Rice who's going to be very, very deep, or a Thomas Partey who's going to sit in. Because otherwise, he's not the kind of he'll work hard to get back and try and stop stuff, but other than that, you're not really getting someone who's going to be putting in some big tackles in or anything like that. Who next? Did we do Gabby Jesus?
No, not yet.
Gabriel Jesus.
Good goal, great finish. Works hard. Everything that we expect from Gabriel Jesus. But I don't know. Just again tonight, he didn't seem to be getting the ball in the right areas. Wasn't being fed through to him. The ball. I don't know. We've got this habit of just feeding the ball out to the wings all the time. To Trossard or to Vieira or to Saka or all this, and sometimes he gets a little bit, missed, and then I think he gets frustrated and he'll drop deep or he'll go out wide, and then that leaves no one in the area. And I noticed that a lot tonight. Yeah, he's such a good player. He's look. I mean, you see his record in the Champions League. That's 23 goals in 41 games. That's an unbelievable record, but. I don't know. As soon as really Saka went off, then Jesus was like, never really got involved in the game. Started to get a little bit shirty at times, making silly fouls with the centre back because I think, as you've already said, that the centre back was like getting the better of him, and I didn't think he liked it. I think he was getting frustrated. It was just a combination of everything that that was going wrong, and I think because of it, Jesus wasn't the player that we know he can be. But sometimes, I feel that he tries to make chances for himself all the time. I don't know. It does seem a little bit that when we haven't got Martinelli or Saka, that we struggle up front. And maybe we do something different. I mean, tonight I was looking there and I was thinking, well, look, Mikel, if you don't trust certain players in there, to maybe help, Jesus out, for instance, like, if Saka's injured or Martinelli's injured, if you're not trusting Smith Rowe or Vieira or Reece Nelson and all these sort of players, then you've got to get someone in, and I feel that we need it. I really felt tonight that we did need. I'm not sort of getting above my station because of tonight, but tonight, people would say that we need a striker and we need another winger.
Yeah, but I don't think it's just tonight. We needed a strike. We were talking about a striker with Balogun there. So we sell Balogun. We've got Nketiah. Who's the other option up front?
Yeah.
We can't be doing this. Havertz can play 3 different positions, so he can go in central midfield. He can play as the 10. He can play as the winger, or he can play as the striker. Because what happens if all those positions are injured? Where does Havertz play? He splits himself apart. No, Havertz is brought in to replace Granit Xhaka. He's the number 8. He's not here to play up front. He can play that up front if we're in game. We've got no subs left, and we need to push him up front. That's the option for Havertz. It's not Havertz is the other striker. We need another centre forward. We've seen that Havertz is not comfortable playing as the man up top on his own. He doesn't play that role well himself. Like, he could probably play the 10, and you've got the two high wingers, but he doesn't play as a centre forward very well. He does not play it. He doesn't look confident. He doesn't make the right runs. He doesn't look to outpace the play. He doesn't sit on the shoulder and let it run past him. He comes back inside. I see it so often. When Havertz plays up front, he sits on the shoulder of the man. He plays on some nice football, but his first option is to turn back in. His first option is to turn back in and look for a man. And that's not striker's instinct. Striker's instinct, I can let the ball run. I've got free option. I could go that way and go to the wing for the 1-2, or I can let the ball run if it's got enough pace and roll the defender.
Are you talking about?
He doesn't have that role.
No. So are you saying getting someone else to do that?
100%. 100%. We can't be left with Gabriel Jesus and Eddie Nketiah. It wasn't enough last season, because when Jesus got injured and Eddie's form dropped, we had no other option. We're in the same predicament again. We need another option. Now, whether that's an experienced striker, whether that's a young striker, whether that's a 25-year-old striker, I don't care. Just make sure he's good. Make sure he can score goals, and make sure he's a threat. And he probably needs to be pacey, if I'm honest, because we've got no pace.
See, when
rapid.
Yeah, look, when Jesus was at City, he used to play as like a second striker on the left. You know, he used to play like as a winger, come in. He used to have like Aguero in the middle. I can't think who else down the middle. Whoever, you know, going down the middle, and Jesus used to score bundles of goals from the left, and then Aguero stroke whoever else it was at the time. I think it was Foden at one point, or you know, he used to score goals from there, and he used to do it all the time from there. So you would think, well, maybe we bring in an Ivan Toney, play him right down the middle. You got Saka on the right with, let's say, Pedro Neto as his stroke understudy with, but then again you've got Martinelli. You know,
for me,
I
don't know if Tony's the answer.
Do you know what?
I don't know if Tony's the answer. I was thinking previously.
I totally agree.
And
I totally
saw
agree.
A few things. I was like, and I saw someone said, is paying 60 million for a 27-year-old who's missed 6 months of the Premier League the answer when he scored one more goal than Gabriel Jesus last season, and Gabriel Jesus was out for 3 months, and I was like, actually, that is the most honest assessment of the situation. And I was like, it's not.
I totally agree. No,
what I want is a Victor Osimhen. What I want
you want a killer. You want a killer.
What Mikel Arteta is doing to Ramsdale, it needs to be done as an option for Jesus. It needs to be, if Jesus ain't scoring or he's dropped in form, you bring in an Osimhen place.
I totally agree.
On the left.
I totally agree.
We need to have killers up top, and Jesus is one of them. Don't get it twisted, people. I think Jesus is one of them, because I think Jesus is our Bobby Firmino. I think he completely changed the game. His finish was excellent tonight, but he needs someone who's going to be a threat to him. So his game's always rising. Saka, Pedro Neto is a perfect option. Look at the only problem I have worry with Pedro Neto is his injury. His injury. He's had a bad knee injury, but he looked sharp the other day. That's the reason why Arsenal always looking at him when he's cut back from injury. But it's another injury. It's another injury he's had. He's been out for 2 long injury spells. Do
you know what us fans got to do? We know, as you've already just mentioned there, with Ramsdale and Raya, you know, Arteta's ruthless. Now, I think he's got to be ruthless in other positions. I totally agree with what you said. Totally agree with what you said about Ivan Toney. Totally agree with you about the price to coming in January. I think I've even mentioned it myself, you know, in talking to people recently. I totally agree with you. And I think Arteta's got to get ruthless. I think he's got to get ruthless. And if that means, you know, getting Osimhen in and getting him right up front, he's not coming in January, though. That's the only, I don't know, he might do. He's feeling that. But whoever it is, you know, you got to get this. If you're going to pay big money, you got to get a killer. You get Osimhen, and you let Jesus and Martinelli fight it out on the left. Let them fight it out. Let them two fight it out. Let Neto and Saka fight it out on the other side. And if they don't like it, then I'd fucking cheese to be. I think we've got to get. I think if we want to get now to getting into the latter stages of Champions Leagues, if we want to win the title, this is what we got to do.
Mm-hmm.
No more fanboys, super fanboys, Martinelli, this, Jesus, that. It's time to get ruthless now.
I think the thing is with us, if you look at our team, and you look like if we're trying to reach the levels that City are, we don't want to always be thinking how close were we with the team we've got. Like we've built this team up. We've got a lot of young players we've built up. We brought in some players from like teams like players like Trossard, who are top players. Who were and now are part of our squad. Players like Fabio Vieira. We've got built a good squad to take it to that next level where we are seriously competing with City, where they I think would probably have a little bit of fear inside them, is by bringing in players like Pedro Neto and Victor Osman just to tie it off at the end. Then we've probably got one of the best squads that we had. We had one of the best squads in Europe with those two added to our team, and that's the difference. I think those kind of signings will definitely be the difference. We already made those sorts of signs when we brought in Jesus, we brought in Zinchenko, when we've got two of the best goalkeepers in the league in Ramsdale and Raya. Like, if we're willing to do it there, he's got to be willing to do it elsewhere. And I'm not seeing him do that when you've got a Jesus against Eddie Nketiah. What did you give Jesus?
I've got to give him a 7 for giving some of the others a 6s, and he scored the goal 7. But if it wasn't for the goal, it'd probably been a 6. But I'll give him 7 for the goal.
Fabio Vieira.
Yeah, I just didn't think he did anything when he come on. I think it was a free kick, a terrible free kick. We just kicked it out of play. You know, that was frustrating.
Yeah, it kept on happening at the end. People kicking the ball out of play.
Yeah, 5 Vieira.
Ben White.
Yeah, I didn't think he did much when he come on either. 5.
Nelson.
Yeah, he just couldn't control the ball. Every time he just get the ball, just kept bouncing off of him. I think got the ball twice, bounced off him, went for a throw-in twice. Plenty of endeavour. You could see he was trying, but it just wasn't nothing was coming off for him. It looked for me 5.
5 for Reece Nelson. Eddie Nketiah.
Yeah, I don't remember him touching the ball. I'm sorry, Eddie, if you did. 5.
And Mikel Arteta.
Well, Emil Smith-Rowe as well. Come on, didn't it? Yeah, probably the best of the substitutions. The ones that come on. Buzzed about. Annoyed me once when we was going forward. He passed the ball back. That was frustrating. Other than that, you know, he was quite a couple of things he did offensively was good. Got a shot off, so the goalkeeper had to make a decent save, and that was straight out. He worked hard, chased back. Yeah, give him a 6.
A 6 from Smith Rowe and Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, did he pick the right team? Yeah, I mean, that team should have bought Lens, shouldn't it? Do you know what I mean? He should have beat Lens, but he just, for some reason, couldn't change it. Couldn't get an influence onto the pitch to make it any better. So he's got to take some of the blame for the loss. So I'll give him a 5.
A 5 for Mikel Arteta. And City on the weekend, big game. Got to be well up for it. Got to hope that the players are fit in that one because I think who are they missing? Not that it's going to make any difference. But
I think they're getting players back, aren't they?
Oh, are they?
Yeah. John Stones is back in training. Bernardo Silva's back in training. It's just back. It's just Do you know what I mean? But we got to like, you know, we got to, this is what you, when you know what champions are made of. You know, City's have been away in the Champions League. Have got their asses wiped by, you know, inferior opposition in the past. Even when they played in won it last year, I think they got beat, you know, by some stupid team, or they drew against someone anyway. And yeah, look, I mean, they got beat by Wolves the weekend, so you know they're not infallible, you know. And yeah, we got the proof's in the pudding now, isn't it? You know, we got to go and show what we're about. Be interesting to see what team he picks. Yeah, I mean, this could be one for a Rice Party partnership. It's easy for me to say, and I don't really like that, but yeah, maybe play Rice in the 8, Party in the 6, and then Odegaard or something.
There's nothing shameful about playing Rice and Partey in midfield against Man City. Like,
yeah, if Rice can be that number 8 job, then
it's just smart. It's just smart.
Yeah,
I feel like you're going to get more out of the team with a Rice and Partey midfield than you would out of Havertz and Rice midfield.
The only thing I don't, back in my mind, think, well, we don't really need 2 DMs of such playing in front of Gabriel and Saliba, but I don't know. Maybe we do. I don't know. Maybe we do.
I think maybe we do.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for tonight. Thank you for everyone who's joined us in the comment section. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe if you are a regular, or if you are new to the show. If you are a regular, press that subscribe button. Anyone wondering what happened to my face, stay away from electric scooters if you're over the age of 15.
What's happened to your face?
I've got a scooter accident.
Oh, shit. Okay. I didn't even notice it. Mind you, I ain't got my contacts linked, so I didn't see, can't see nothing.
I've got half of red eye, and
right.
half the skin on the left side of my body, but it's all good. I will survive. I will survive. All right. Peace out, people. Stay safe and wash your hands.